Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Quincy Andrew Tillett. Tillett was shot and killed Sunday, March 7, 2010 in the 1300 block of Kornblum Avenue in Hawthorne, according to LA County coroner records. Louis Ezekiel was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Quincy Tillett, the murder victim, and Cesar Olmedo, the attempted murder victim, were members of the Hawthorne Little Watts gang. Defendant Louis Ezekiel was a member of Inglewood 13, a rival of Hawthorne Little Watts. On March 6, 2010, at around 10 p.m., Cesar Olmedo was attending a party on Kornblum Avenue in the city of Hawthorne. A fight broke out between 6 Hawthorne Little Watts gang members and about 11 members of Inglewood 13. The fight began after an Inglewood 13 gang member shouted out, "We're Inglewood," and the Hawthorne Little Watts gang member responded, "Little Watts." According to Olmedo, both he and defendant were a part of the fight, and he was pretty sure that they fought each other. Olmedo didn't see any guns or hear gunfire. When the fight ended, the Inglewood 13 members drove off in a gold Yukon or Explorer. Quincy Tillett was not involved in the fight and only arrived at the party about 20 minutes later. At some point, he left to return his mother's car, and Olmedo followed him on his bike. Tillett retrieved his own bike, and he and Olmedo met up and rode their bikes back to the party. As Tillett rode in front of Olmedo, Olmedo noticed a brown or beige Honda or Toyota driving close to them in the same direction they were traveling. When the car reached Olmedo, he saw the person in the passenger seat, whom he identified as defendant, pull out a shotgun or long barrel gun and fire. Olmedo jumped off his bike. Defendant fired again, hitting Tillett. Olmedo did not hear defendant claim his gang, which he viewed as cowardly in gang culture. Olmedo called 911 but left the scene before police arrived. Julio Cesar Rosas, a host of the party, was in a friend's house nearby when he heard someone shout, "F Little Watts," and then heard gunshots. He went over to Tillett and observed him trying to breathe. He told his friend's mother to call the police. A Hawthorne police officer arrived at the scene at 11:35 p.m. and discovered Tillett having difficulty breathing. He interviewed nearby witnesses claiming their apartments had been struck by objects and found a screen door that had been struck by a projectile. A small pellet was recovered. LA County Sheriff Detective Mitchell Robinson also arrived at the scene and recovered 2 cell phones, Tillett's clothing, a shotgun wad, a shotgun shell, some pellets, and a beer can. He observed a shotgun strike mark on a wooden fence nearby. A forensic analysis of Tillett's body revealed that he suffered a shotgun wound to the left side of his back, which caused his death. It was estimated the gun was fired from 1 to 3 feet from him, and the trajectory of the bullet was consistent with the shooter firing from a vehicle traveling on Tillett's left side and behind him. A forensic comparison of the Mossberg shotgun recovered at Daniel McEntee's residence and the shotgun shell, wad, and pellets recovered both at the scene and from Tillett's body revealed the shots came from that shotgun. Defendant Louis Ezekiel was arrested on March 13, 2010. At the time, a car near him contained 2 Inglewood 13 gang members, including one member named Anthony Castillo. On March 18, 2010, Detective Robinson and a sergeant interviewed Cesar Olmedo, a portion of which was recorded and played for the jury. Olmedo was reluctant and uncooperative. Olmedo was not asked for and did not give a description of the shooter, but he stated before the recording began that the shooter was an Inglewood 13 gang member. He was shown a 6-pack photographic lineup and immediately identified the defendant as the shooter. He recognized him from the party, and he remembered him wearing a white sweater at the party and at the shooting. Detective Robinson did not have Olmedo sign the form of admonition for fear Olmedo would not cooperate, although he convinced Olmedo to initial his selection of defendant's photograph. Given a hypothetical that tracked the facts of the case, Detective Milkovich opined that the charges against defendant were committed for the benefit of Inglewood 13. By attending the party in the rival gang's territory and announcing their name, the Inglewood 13 members showed disrespect that prompted the Hawthorne Little Watts to announce themselves in response. That led to the fight and the shooting. Following the trial, the jury convicted defendant of murder, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm by a felon, including a gun and gang enhancement. The court sentenced the defendant to a term of 85 years to life. Quincy Andrew Tillett was 18 years old at the time of death.